social media that we're live. Hey, we're live from New York City. No, hey, this is Gamerhead Radio, episode number 176. Because unlike John, I can count. Um,
It's true. I'm
I,
illiterate and I
I,
can't count.
yes, I am con burnt and very allergic goat this week.
I'm kind of both of those things too. Charlie Technotronic on Worthley here. Hello.
And I am Jonathan. I want to come up with something fancy like you guys did. My feet fucking hurt from walking and riding a bike and playing a rock and roll show and running around and Santiago, aka Fallon Flynn.
Is that hyphenated? Is that just all hyphenated?
Good
It's
God.
all big giant dashes. You know what? Never mind. No, they're not hyphen. It's all underscored, Charlie.
Oh,
To keep
okay.
it modern for the kids.
That's
Yes, it's
horrible.
all for the
Awful.
children. So, gents, what you guys' weekend look like in retrospect?
How was our weeks and weekends? Oh my goodness.
Yes.
We were all
Busy
busy
as shit.
bees. Yeah.
Mhm.
In our own unique little roles and ways, but yeah. You guys were the belles of the ball this weekend, so I'll let you guys go first.
Oh, or you know what? Here, I'll kick it off since it was
I
a
would
Views
say
for Villains weekend.
you were the bell. I was the
was-
ball.
You're always the balls, goat.
Somebody has to have testicles in this band.
This weekend, well done. This weekend was, as we've talked about leading up to it in the last few episodes, Anime Midwest, which was Views for Villains' kind of debut of their semi-complete, semi-full show, where we were featuring some of the things that Goat worked on, which I'll let him tell you a little bit about, as not to steal his thunder. But we had stage props on there. We designed the stage to make it look like we're on a rooftop when we're playing, complete with brick wall pieces at the front of the stage and in front of drum riser when we have them, and then a water tower, which I'll let Goat tell you about, and then it's like a, what do you call it? It's like a chimney stack that has a turbine on the top of it.
Chimney.
Yes, it's a chimney stack. It has the don't sass me, Goat. So the big shout out to Gamerhead Radio crew all together. It was Goat, JR, Joe, Ed. It was really like everybody really, really busted their hump this weekend, and the four of them worked on these things, and then Travis as well. One time B Squad co-host Travis Lanning, and fellow Goat bandmate in Codename Phoenix. Travis did some work on this stuff too, so thank you to you, Travis. But everybody built these really awesome things. We got it there, played the show. Our costumes went from being about 20% complete to being collectively about 60% complete, and they're still not done. There's still quite a lot of work to do on them. So they're going to be a work in progress. Every time you guys come see us and see what we've got and how the show's changed, you'll probably notice new things on the costumes and changes and additions and all these really cool things. So it was a damn good weekend. We had a great show with a really great turnout. Everything was really fucking smooth. Everything was cool. And we had a shitload of stuff lined up for the weekend, but I could only be there for Friday night, so we did that. And then we did an erotic reading panel, if that's what you want to call it, where I'll let him tell you his side of that story, but we managed to get Charlie to read some
Naughty
pony
bits.
smut. Yeah, which
No, we're not gonna. No, that never happened. We're never speaking of that ever again. That was not a thing that actually existed. I do not have video of that, and I will not be posting video of that to my YouTube page eventually.
yes,
Everything
yes.
I just said was a lie.
That's true. A really fucking funny lie, though. It was great. So that was the short version of it. There was also a portion of the evening where our new drummer Mike stole my chair as I was grabbing a taco, and I fell flat on my ass and then flat on my back, and I just laid there and ate my fucking taco while I was laying flat on the floor because I was too tired to do anything else. But go tell them about your chunk of contribution for the weekend.
I'm gonna make an abridgment to yours. It was the Villains crew, not the Gamerhead crew. You got your companies mixed up there.
Oh, I guess yeah, that's true. It's true.
No, we put these idiots on a rooftop per se. We built a 8-foot water tower / tech station. We have a chimney with a working air vent. That is our fog distribution center. Does amazing work. And it's just nice to have that crap out in the open now, and I don't have to one less iron curtain on my list of iron curtains. But it was a great show. Sweated my ass off. That was a hot stage. Jesus Christ.
It was hot, man. There were a lot of things, a lot of moving parts, a lot of lights, a lot of
Yeah.
everything going on up there.
So yeah, we did seven specific scenes built for lights with our lighting guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a long fucking weekend, a lot of production, but the payoff was far worth it, I think. I've gotten nothing but positive reviews.
So it's a quick question. We already have some questions in the Q&A. Viewers, if you're watching live, you can join the Hangout and ask questions in the Q&A up on the side. One of our listeners, Dustin Falconer, Dustin Falconer. Dustiner is somebody else. He asked, and this may be a common question for those that aren't intimately familiar with the villains. What was the IMW? He made a couple stabs at the initials. It was actually I believe it's IMW, right?
Sure.
IMW.
It is.
On our water tower. Yes.
Yeah, he was wondering what that was.
IMW
That's an Easter egg.
It is an Easter egg. IMW is the production company that my brother and I founded like 10 years ago. It stands for Industrial Media Works. So everything that we put out as a band is put out underneath that production company name. So just a tiny like behind the scenes Visual's Easter egg for you guys.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
It's already working.
What's already working? What did you do? Oh, the Easter egg stuff? Yeah, that's true.
People are asking what IMW are.
Totally worked.
And Dustin, I'm not sure if your comment "you scarred me for life, damn it" was directed at me for my clop reading, but I no more
Most
scarred
likely.
than I scarred myself, because I'm sorry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I got a little uneasy during that section of that panel.
Not me, man. Not me. It was fun because what happened was Charlie had. We were taking submissions from the crowd at one point after the smut panel show just careened out of control like a turned over vehicle.
So every smut panel we've done for the last year.
It's true, and there was that way. We were taking submissions from the crowd, and Charlie threw his hat in the ring, and brought something up for me. It was just like, read this, please. And then he got about 3/4 of the way off the stage and back to where he was filming, and I was just like, Charlie, come on up.
And I really should have known better. I had one of those moments where you just stop and you're like, how did I possibly not see this coming? And yeah, but I'm a good sport, and I said, well, I suppose I picked this out. So like John said, the idea was that people were picking their favorite pieces of erotic writing that they wanted the villains to read. Yeah. Real quick, I also have to shout out to your new drummer. He is quite the animated storyteller.
He's a very funny guy, man.
Oh, Mike's good people.
Mike is one of my new favorite people. He's I spent probably a combined maybe 2 hours actually interacting with him on a one-to-one basis, and he's very quickly become one of my favorite people. So
he's good people, man. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
An excellent addition to your lineup. Absolutely.
A little side note here, speaking of how a funny person and how much he fits in the villains thing is, we're on set, right? And he gives me the look that he has a problem. I run up there to ask him what's going on with his kit. He looks at me and he goes, "I just want to tell you you're handsome. You can go now."
He was doing that shit to JR. He did it to JR. JR pulled me off the side of the stage, and he's like, "You know what Mike did?" I already knew. I was like, "What? What did he do?" He's like, he waved me over like he was rushing me to the stage like it was important. And he was just like, "I just want to tell you, I think that you're very, very attractive." And he's just like, and I just looked at her and I was just like, "Oh, fuck you." And I went off the stage, man. I thought that was the best. But that's Mike, though. He's a jokester, a prankster, as was evidenced by the fact that I had to eat that taco on the floor.
No, in Mike's defense, he blatantly walked over, grabbed it. We thought you saw it. Everybody in the room thought you saw that.
If you
and then when you fell on your ass, you didn't see it. We got that.
There's video if you go back and watch the playback video, I was literally unwrapping a taco when he did that, and I could not. You know what I mean? Yeah. I
that's gonna be an animated GIF. We're working on it.
No, please do. Charlie, I believe you probably have the best angle on that though, from where you were standing.
I didn't see it happening. I was focused on something at the other end of the stage
Ah.
when that happened, and so if you were in the frame, you were on just the very edge of the frame, which might make the capture of it all that much better. But yeah, I have to go back and look and see exactly.
Yeah,
I
if you
haven't
got a good
reviewed.
angle,
Yeah, I haven't
please,
reviewed the
please.
footage yet, but there were lots of cameras running during that panel, so I'm guessing somebody got a pretty good angle of that.
We'll find it.
I don't know if it was me or not, but yes,
It
that
was
was a
fun,
highlight.
man. The short version of a very, very packed weekend is that it was a good weekend, it was a fun weekend, and it was a successful weekend.
Yes.
So good times. But Gamerhead Radio also was there in the form of Charlie. Since Goat and I were indisposed with villain stuff, Charlie had a press badge and did a little bit of sightseeing on behalf of Gamerhead Radio while he was there, and I'm sure we'll let him talk about that coming up here shortly.
Yeah. So briefly, what I'll just say real quick is I didn't get to spend as much time there as I wanted, just because of other plans that were already made for the weekend. But I got a chance to interview the owner. If you were at the con, if you went in the video game room, you could not miss the wall of pachinko machines, which were set up like immediately when you walked in. And I got a chance to interview and talk to the owner of the machines and just kind of get a little bit of insight into like
Konami's
what it
future.
was like in it and everything. If you check out the Periscope stream, I realized about 3.5, 4 minutes in, we talked for about 10 minutes. I realized about 3.5, 4 minutes in that, oh wait, I forgot to actually turn up the volume on my mic. So if you go watch the stream, there's nothing wrong with your computer. It's silent for about the first 3 minutes, but then the audio kicks in. And I'm while we're talking here, while we're going through the show, I'm working on a way though so we can actually pipe that into the show and include it here as well.
Excellent.
But yeah, really cool guy. I'm glad I got a chance to talk with him. But I'll talk about that more later if I'm able to get this going here. But yeah, no. Other than that, from what I checked out of the con, I mean, the video game room was pretty well set up. I had a chance to also talk to a gentleman named Arthur Mortega from Game Seed Indie Game Publishing, and he was showing off a game that he's helping to publish. That I'm going to try and get him on the show to talk about it a little bit, both to talk about the game. The developer's not local, but he's from Chicago. But he is doing something else interesting. Just a brief little tease. He is working on like basically a class that's training people for esports in a weird kind of way. He's very interested in esports, and he's looking into that.
Interesting.
So yeah, the game that he was promoting was let me switch back to my was a game called Video Ball, and this is a game that's going to be coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and Steam. It's a lot like iDarb in the fact that it's like a very simplistic looking kind of competitive sports-ish game. It's a top-down perspective instead of a side perspective like iDarb is. But it's one of those things where it's easy to learn but very difficult to master. I'm gonna get in contact with him and see if he's willing to talk about both that and his esports training thing that he's working on in general. So yeah, made some good contacts, had a lot of fun. Great convention. Pretty good, really good size. A really great turnout. But yeah, that was a good time. And just briefly, as long as we're talking about what we did this week, that was one of 3 conventions that I participated in this weekend.
Jesus, man.
Yeah. So the second thing was something that is something I had never heard of being done before, which I think is really cool. I just want to kind of talk about it real quick. It was a panel. Okay, so BronyCon, which is basically like the mothership of My Little Pony Cons, was this weekend, and this is like where Ciderfest is like a 1,200 attendee con last year. Winnie City was like an 800 attendee con. Everfear Northwest was like a 3,000 attendee con. BronyCon is a 10,000 attendee con.
Mm-hmm.
At least is what they had last year. So this is the big one, and so. With anything like this, of course, people who were not able to attend BronyCon, like myself, it's disappointing. Maybe a little depressing, depending on how much you care about such things. But what some very cool people did is they got together and they organized an online convention called Horses at Home, which is basically for people that couldn't make it to BronyCon is the target audience for this. It's free to attend and everything, and basically it was. At the end of it, it was basically just a website that basically said, hey, if you want to do do like a video stream about anything just pony related. I mean, even if it doesn't have to be pony related, I guess, if you think that'd be if people be interested. But do a video stream, send us the link, we'll put it on the schedule, and then so people can come here and we'll just have like a list of these different things people are going to be streaming all day. I mean, that was as far as the organization of it went. I mean, they did a little bit of social media and they were rebroadcasting some stuff themselves, but so I took advantage of the situation to kind of talk about Ciderfest a little bit. So I hosted a Ciderfest panel for Horses at Home, and I'm told that we had approximately 1,800 people watching the stream at one point.
Wow, that's great.
Which is pretty awesome. And so we talked about Ciderfest, and we soft announced a couple guests. I can tell you that since we said it there, if anyone is interested in such things, Mr. Peter New, who is also the voice of Big Mac and Dr. Hooves, or the Dr. Pony, if you want to be correct about it, I suppose. From the show will be returning again for his third year in a row at Ciderfest. Love that man to death. I'm so happy he's coming back. And Mr. Big Jim Miller will also be joining us. The executive producer, I believe, is his show, is his title for the show. And he's just a super, super, super fun guy. Like tons of energy, just really awesome guy. And so we had both of them on the panel, as well as we talked to the guests, the previous guest we have formally announced, Allie Milner, who's going by Willa now. She will be joining the, we've already announced that she's coming, but she was on it as well. And so it was basically the four of us just kind of chatting, as well as my video game manager department head talking about some of his plans for the convention. We were just talking about stuff, and it was really kind of a cool thing. I've never heard of it like an online convention like that before. I mean, I don't know if convention's even the right word, but I mean that was what it was intended to replicate. So I'm gonna go. So yeah, and then the other thing that I did was I basically just stuck my head in the door, but just because I like saying I went to 3 conventions this week, I'm just going to go with it. The My Little Pony Fair was also happening this weekend in Schaumburg, Illinois, same hotel that Winnie City was at. And this is basically I believe it's a yearly convention who's intended for the collectors of the earlier Milo ponies, all the old school ponies. And so so not completely my bag, but I had some friends that were there. And so after I left Anime Midwest, I made a pit stop on the way back. Completely lost track of time, which is the real reason why the show is running late, because I don't know how to watch. Sorry about that. But yeah, the time flies when you're having fun, and I just lost track of time, and so apologies. But yeah, no, it was a super super busy weekend. Had a lot of fun, a lot of productive stuff, and yeah, it was a good time. So yeah.
Excellent. So it sounds like not for nothing, but every one of us had not only a productive but pretty busy weekend, and still managed to, on
Meet
top
Hugh
of
Hefner.
doing everything. Why did you leave that out?
I forgot about that. Yeah, I met Hugh Hefner this weekend too.
Because yeah, if you might remember from last week, John mentioned that there was an erotica convention, like
It's
like
called
an adult.
Exotica, and there's
Yeah.
3
Exotica,
X's
that's right.
in Exotica,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
And that
So,
was
yeah.
that was running this weekend. So the man, the myth, the legend himself was there, and so was Hugh Hefner. And yeah.
Yeah, and we bumped into each other outside the con. I was doing something else and had a brief conversation, and my random life.
There you go. Goat Adventures of Goat on the road. So let us move on and talk about releases, Charlie.
Absolutely. So, aside from the fact that so first of all, we're going to be talking about this later, I'm sure, because of obvious reasons. But so last week we didn't know that Pokemon Go was going to be in the releases. So just in case you've been living under the most largest rock ever in existence, Pokemon Go just came out.
Yeah, we'll talk about some of that in a little bit too.
Yeah. Also, since you are clearly not on Facebook or Twitter or any other social media platform, because if you were, you would know that Pokemon Go came out. Yeah, it's kind of a thing, and we'll be talking more about that later. But coming up this week, starting tomorrow on Monday, July 11th, Arma 3 Apex is coming out for PC. And then on Tuesday, July 12th, Song of the Deep is finally coming out for PC, PS4, and Xbox One. Resident Evil 5 HD is coming on Xbox One and PS4. Ghostbusters, the game about the movie, is coming out on PC and Xbox One and PC4, which I'm sure will be a fantastic quality title.
Regardless of whatever the movie ends up being,
Yes.
there's no humanly possible way that game's going to be any good.
Stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
But it's John. Just as you say that, I had to take a quick diversion. I had to pop over to Metacritic and just see. And
The early reviews are positive, but I'm gonna have to just watch and find out for myself because people said that Amazing Spider-Man 2's review. I mean, it got largely great reviews, and then some of those very same critics, a couple years later, were just like, yeah, it wasn't really that good of a movie. I'm not saying I think Ghostbusters reviews are gonna be bought. I'm saying I need to find out for myself.
yeah,
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
sitting right now on Metacritic, the Ghostbusters movie is sitting with an average score of 63, which is still in the green range, with 11 positive reviews and 9 mixed reviews, which is a hell of a lot better than I expected to be, even for Metacritic. So
Yeah.
I'm curious. But anyways, Seventh Dragon 3, code VFD, for the very fuzzy dragon, I'm assuming, is coming out on the 3DS. I'm sure that's not what that is. Assault Suit Lanos on the PS4 and PC. Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme VS Force on the Vita. Tumblestone on the PC and Mac. Necropolis, a diabolical, I'm going to say that again, Necropolis, a diabolical dungeon delve on PC and Mac.
So good, he had to say it twice.
Video Ball is coming out on PC, Mac, PS4, and Xbox One. Daydream Awakened Edition on the PS4. Dex on the PS4 and Xbox One. Kerbal Space Program is getting a release on the PS4.
I'm glad that's coming out, actually. Kerbal Space Program is actually really well appreciated on the PC.
Yeah, definitely. Last Wings is coming out on the PS4 and the Vita as a cross-buy. Militant, that's like militant, but with a capital A, so it apparently has ants in it, on the PS4 and the PC. Panda Run on the Vita. Super Mutant Alien Assault on the PS4. And Type Rider, that's TYPE:RIDER, on the PS4 and the Vita. And then on Thursday, July 14th, Infidium Strike is coming out on the PS4, the Xbox One, PC, and Mac. And Domain Defense on the PC and Mac. On Friday, July 15th, Monster Hunter Generations on the 3DS. Adrift with a number 1 in the place of the I, for some reason, on the PS4. MX vs. ATV Supercross Encore on the Xbox One. Move Love on the PC and Xbox 360, and I will always say it that way. I don't care if it's correct or not. But
Move Love.
I just have to. MUV-LUV. It's just Move Love. That's how
I see Move Love.
Move Love?
I know it's Move Love, but because that's
is it? Because I don't know that. Is it for sure Move Love?
No one's gonna call the game Move Love unless it's on the Vita.
Because that would be the strangest title we've ever heard.
It's true.
I'm forever gonna call it Move Love. on PC and 360, RimWorld on the PC and Mac. And then looking into the future, on Tuesday, July 19th, we're getting I Am Setsuna on the PS4 and the PC, Killstrain on the PS4, Neverwinter on the PS4, and Ark Survival of the Fittest on the PS4. Any of these games tickling your guys' fancies?
Nothing particular except for Kerbal Space Program standing out for me.
That's fair. Yeah, me too. I mean, I'm just because I had a marketing guy talking to me about it, I'm interested in Video Ball because, as I've talked about previously, I am very influenced by advertising, especially when it's happening by human beings standing a foot and a half from me. So yeah.
We gotta talk about that sometime. That fascinates the shit out of me because if somebody comes up to me and tries to sell me something, I'm like, no, just tell me what it is. What is it? No, I have no interest in that. Or yes, I have all the interest in that, but I will find out for myself. Don't put your pitch on it.
I'm going to assume that it has to have some deep relation with my foolishly placed, never-ending optimism. So whenever I see an advertisement, I can't help but think, yes, I'm sure this thing is fantastic.
See, I still want, much like Mulder, I want to believe, but I don't.
That's fair.
No, just not anymore. Goat, are we losing you over there? Is he taking a nap?
No. I was checking on Zelda. She's sitting next to me, giving me the. Are you done with the podcast there yet?
How is Zelda the cat doing?
She's laying here being her. So, yeah, she's fine.
Oh, good. Doing cat things then. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Indubitably.
So, those are the releases that we have coming up.
Yay,
I don't think there's really going to be anything stand out for just a little bit longer yet. We're getting toward the midpoint of summer here where the tide is going to turn and then good games are going to be upon us once again. So
Man, we're
ride
that
it
long.
out. Ride it out.
All right. So speaking of games, what did you play there, fellas?
Charlie, would you like to go
Well,
first?
I'll go first because I'll be quick. I'm basically just focusing on Assassin's Creed 4 right now. Black Flag. It's fun. I like it, and I'm probably gonna be playing that for a couple more weeks, and so I won't drone on about it right now. Oh, except for I do have to say, if I posted about this earlier in the week, so my friends on social media will already have seen this, but my mind was absolutely blown away by the fact that in the game, just in like you can find like the various like documents and things like that where you can read them. I actually read that stuff sometimes, and one of the documents in Assassin's Creed Black Flag is referring to Bloom and CTOS, which you may know from Watch Dogs, meaning that Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs are actually in the same universe, which makes all the sense in the world, but just completely just is like, what? John, had you caught that before when you went through there?
Yeah, I caught it the first time, but because I knew a little bit about where Watch Dogs comes from, but because I had not like invested a bunch of time into the game, it did not have the same impact to me. But you appreciate that game a lot more than a lot of people that I know, so I could see why that would have some value to you.
Of Black Flag?
No, not Black Flag. I'm talking about
Watch
Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. To be clear, it was not a good game.
Okay.
I just I appreciate the promise of it. I look at it. I think we've made this comparison before. I look at Watch Dogs a lot like I look at the first Assassin's Creed. Super repetitive, not a lot to it, but you could see what they had in mind. And I think it's generally agreed that Assassin's Creed 2 was a monumental improvement over the original Assassin's Creed. Yeah. So I'm hoping, we only have the one trailer to go on really right now, so it's not really enough to draw any conclusions from, but I'm hoping that they'll make the same jump in improvement with Watch Dogs 2 that they made over Watch Dogs 1 that they made with Assassin's Creed 2 over Assassin's Creed 1. That's my hope.
That would be quite pleasant.
Charlie is in love with this potential, not the actual game.
That is correct.
Never-ending optimism. That's what I'm going with.
Yes.
Sucker.
that is also true.
Was that all you played this week, Charlie?
Yeah, that's all I'm focusing on right now.
Cool. Any other thoughts about it now, or?
Nothing. I mean, aside from just wanting to mention that little thing, I didn't. I'm not going to drone on about it anymore because I'll be playing it, I'm sure, for the next couple of weeks, and so I'll kind of save for really a lot of elaboration until I get to the end of the game.
All right.
Every week it's just going to be, I played it, it's fine. I'll just have the same things to say about it, really. Unless if something changes, of course, I'll mention it. But I'm at the same place where I've been with it. I'm having fun playing with it, but nothing.
Charlie's 3-word review. Boats and hoes.
Here's where I know I'm watching too much Pony. I heard you say oats and hose, which
nope, that was not what I said.
Like hose, like you like ground with, and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, there's no farming in this game, and then I thought about it and realized what you actually said.
Boats as in sea vessels.
Yes, got it.
Hose as in my brother.
Got it. That took me a second there.
See, I was a big fan of Charlie's first thing. We'll just stick with he likes playing with it.
There you go. Moving on. Wonderful way to segue out of that. So let me bridge the gap there. So I didn't. No. I did not get to play much because of Anime Midwest preparations this week, but I did get to start playing Mighty Number 9 because Goat was kindly enough to lend his copy of it to me. I'm only about 20 minutes into it. I've barely played much any of it. I know it's not a terribly long game from what you said anyways, but my early vibe and assessment of it is this. I don't necessarily think it deserves all the shit that it's getting for being what it is. It is definitely, just as a game, if you're looking at it as a game, if you didn't know anything about the Kickstarter stuff, where it comes from, it plays fine. I mean, it does exactly what it looks like it was supposed to do. So I think some of the disdain may be internet hype getting hold of it and tearing it a new asshole, and some of it may be people who backed the Kickstarter going, this doesn't look like my money was spent the way I thought it would be spent, which is not up to them to determine how it should be spent, even though it should be spent responsibly. And,
so you're in agreement with me.
And it is also not the one thing I can see, based on the length that you told me it took you to finish it, Goat, does not look like a $40 game to me. It does not look or play like a $40 game. It feels like an arcade title. If you're paying more than $20 for it retail right off the shelf, you're probably paying too much for it. Price adjustment aside, I don't really find anything wrong with the game. It's just a side-scrolling platforming, shooter.
So you and I are on the same page. The internet ruined this game.
Yeah, I think maybe a little bit more. It's certainly nothing revolutionary, and it is really like, let's just be honest, it's fucking Mega Man. Straight up Mega Man, but with a worse name. And I know 2 or 3 different IPs in the video game, movie, TV show world that name their heroes Beck. Beck is not a good name for a lead character, in my opinion. So stop doing that, everybody.
No, he's a musician with 2 turntables. Leave
And
it
he's
alone.
he's not a good musician either. Go ahead, throw your hate at me. I don't care.
So hang on a second. So go.
Yes.
Had you finished the game when you talked about it the last time?
No.
Okay, so then I'm curious to know if your opinion on the game changed at all from when you talked about it mid-game to now that you finished it. Do you have any different feelings about it at all?
No, you don't need to finish the game to get that opinion. It's a Mega Man. It's pretty much the same levels over. I mean, it's the same. You know what I'm saying? It's the same over and over, but different because of the different levels.
Yeah.
It's not very deep.
All right.
No. Yeah.
Like, you've played one Mega Man level. Played.
That's it. That's the thing, really. That's why I think people were so disappointed. I think they were expecting a revolution of a concept that they loved, and that was not. Not only was that not promised, there's only so much you can do with a side scroller like that. It does feel and play a little archaic for the time, though, so I can see that. But I don't know. I'll reserve judgment for when I get farther into it, because right now I'm not angry at it, but I also didn't pay $40 for it, so.
Well, I didn't either. I only paid $30.
Yeah, there you go. I also played a little bit of Killer Instinct because my son really wants to play it all the time, so I played some of that. Played a bunch of Overwatch's competitive mode because that launched and I finally got around to that. I'll save some thoughts on that for another episode. The short version is the competitive mode is the polar opposite of what the standard version of the game is designed to be, and that is kind of bad. They're longer matches. It's really frustrating when you lose. You D-level. It's irritating. When you win, you're like, yeah, I fucking clinched it. But there's a lot of really obnoxious things that happen in the competitive mode, and I don't necessarily think they need to work on it. They need to fix and change a lot in it, or it's going to be off-putting to anybody but the most hardcore people, which is probably who it's for anyways. So, let me see. Did I play anything else? Shit, I'm trying to remember. No, I think that was it. Oh, Pokemon Go.
Mm-hmm.
You played Pokemon Go? I didn't think you were interested.
Let me tell you why I started. Let me clarify something. I don't dislike Pokemon. I think there's a little bit of a stigma, especially with the listeners of this show, think I dislike Pokemon. I don't at all. I'm perfectly fine with Pokemon. I was just maybe 2 years older than the 2 or 3 years older than the original crowd that caught it, at an age where it just didn't appeal to me. At the time when Pokemon first launched, I didn't like it. I was just like, what the fuck is this? It just did not appeal to me. And then years later, I made my peace with it, and I was just like, oh, I got old is what happened, and I missed the train on it. And then I went back and looked into it and researched it. So I don't dislike Pokemon. I like Pokemon. I think it's really neat. I didn't not have an interest in seeing what happened here, but I felt, if you guys remember when we first talked about it, I felt like it would not deliver on the promise of this like AR Pokemon in the real world kind of, and we'll talk a little bit more about it, I'm sure, coming up here, but it does not even close to live up to what people I think thought it was going to be.
It never does.
No, but this is not even close. I'll talk about it later. But I
do a whole feature on it.
Yeah, I spent quite a bit of time playing it, and I'll share my thoughts on that in a little bit.
Some birds told me that John is a very animated passenger now that Pokemon Go exists.
Am I?
Yeah, everybody you got a ride from this weekend was like, he was
That's
swinging his
actually not
phone
true.
everywhere, and he was,
That's actually not true. I did it once in the car last week with we went to go get food and I did it
well,
once.
we did it on the way to the venue. Ed said you did it on the way.
I didn't
Uh,
actually. I didn't do Pokemon Go at all when Ed gave me a ride home. That's actually patently fucking untrue.
okay.
But a wild pyro appears. Throw a Pokeball at the goat.
They're trying to catch
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, pyro. Got to catch him all.
He's a horrible fighter. He's
Oh.
he's just a noisemaker. But
Yeah.
yeah. So real quick, before we move on, I just want to kind of let people know about a feature that you may or may not know about. I'm going to do a quick screen share real quick here, and if you are interested in knowing when Gamerhead Radio goes live with our shows, just as a reminder, for whatever other reason. Take a look at, that's our Twitter page, but take a look at
Basketball.
This is what you see when you go to our YouTube page. So if you go to youtube.com/GamerheadRadio, you'll be brought here, and then over here on the right, first of all, see where it says subscribed here? You should already have this selected to make sure that that you are subscribed to us. But furthermore, if you click this little gear here on the side, there's a box that you can check that says, send me all notifications for this channel. Now, we don't upload videos like 3 or 4 times a day, so you're not going to be bothered constantly with notifications, but you will be notified when we go live every week. So if just as a reminder, see if you want to pop in. You know, even if you don't watch us every week, maybe you just happen to be home one Sunday night with nothing to do, and you get that notification. It's like, oh, this is going to be the one time I tune in to watch Gamerhead Radio because I've always wanted to do it, and now I finally can. So just subscribe to us and check that box, and then you can make sure to have the best chance of catching one of our episodes, if at all possible. So yeah, just kind of wanted to make sure.
Now, before we move on, though, Goat, did you talk about what you played?
Well, what happened?
Did you talk about what you played, Goat?
No, Charlie's just gonna fly past me.
Well, we all know you played Pokemon Go. I didn't think we really need to talk about it that much.
Small title, very small, insignificant title that came out this week. I played a little bit more of Beyond Two Souls as well when I could, and it's getting better and crazier. I think I'm real close to the end because shit's getting really fucking weird. But and then as I'm using the very specific measurement of I played a metric fuck ton of Pokemon Go this weekend.
Right on.
That's a Pokemon, right? It's Megaton, right? But that's just a nickname for Mega Fuck Ton.
It is.
Yes.
You can name your
That's his father.
Pokemon too, and there's no real editing in that either. So you could probably actually name it. I bumped into a Pokemon at a gym named Cornhole, and that was not at all censored.
That seems like it would get past language filters okay though. Can you name your Pokemon curse words, or does it filter those out?
I haven't started naming.
No, I haven't tried naming curse words, but some fairly inappropriate things. I think one of the Kotaku editors, or no, it was somebody in a tips for playing Pokemon Go article said that he named one of his Pokemon Puss Lips, and that still got it hadn't bothered it, at least at the time of the writing of that article. So, there are children playing this game. Don't scar the children.
Mm-hmm.
Be decent.
Yeah. But speaking of that minor thing I seen, as we speak, well, maybe not as we speak, but as of today, there is a Clefairy at the gym of the Westboro Baptist Church that has the name of the Pokemon is Love is Love. So good on everybody for trolling that terrible place.
That's it. Golf clap.
Yes. Quite.
Pokemon is good for people.
But yeah, I'm sure we have a few stories at the very least of Pokemon Go in the lineup today. So we'll.
There are a couple. I actually, if we're gonna move on to the news, I actually could have filled our entire top 5 with Pokemon Go stories because there were so many of them this week relating to things.
Does not surprise me.
There are 2 in here this week, but we'll start off. And I'm gonna be sort of upfront about the news this week. I kept the news largely, with the exception of one thing. I kept the news lightly, sort of very simple and laid back, because it's really been a terrible week for everybody in the world. It's just not been a happy news week in the real world, so I thought I would keep things light and kind of mostly silly here for the news this week in gaming. No crazy politics or, executives trying to destroy each other, or people losing their jobs. But there is one dead person. We'll talk about that soon. You remember when I said I kept the news light, and then I was just like, what dead people? Yeah. Number 5, a pizza place overwhelmed by Five Nights at Freddy's phone calls.
Sorry, I hadn't heard this. Okay, go on.
No, this is good. So I haven't really been reading copy from news stories. Typically, I've been extrapolating information and kind of throwing it in there for everybody. But I'm going to go ahead and just read this one straight out of the article so you guys can get the full effect of it. A real-world pizza place in New Jersey is being overrun by calls from gamers asking if the restaurant has anything to do with the video game Five Nights at Freddy's. It does not. Asbury Park Press, through Kotaku, reported that the pizza joint in question is called Freddy's Restaurant and Pizzeria in Long Branch, and it's seeing its phone lines ring off the hook, but not always for pizza orders. Quote, the calls are coming from children nationwide who want to know if Freddy's is, in fact, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the setting for the popular online video game called Five Nights at Freddy's. Freddy's is trapped in a sea of never-ending telephone calls, and it is hurting business. These poor people. The restaurant added phone lines, and it's shifting its employees around to handle incoming calls, and its irregular customers have had trouble getting through to place their orders. They're getting so many phone calls, such a large volume of kids and people asking if this is the Five Nights at Freddy's pizza place, that their paying customers can't order their fucking food. It's so sad.
Oh, God. Okay. Nobody from this restaurant is going to hear the sound of my voice, but on the 0.0001% chance that maybe you can, there are answering, like, phone answering system solutions where you can just have a little recording that says, like, by the way, no, we have nothing to do with Five Nights at Freddy's. Please continue to hold if you want to actually order a pizza. And that would save you so much trouble. So, I mean, contact me. I will help you set one
Charlie,
up.
let's reach out to this company and let them know that you have solutions for them.
Oh my God!
And then send them a bill
so
and ask them
horrible.
to send us free pizza for the rest of our career.
Where are they located?
New Jersey.
Well, I don't want their pizza, first of all. But
Ooh, shots fucking fired, man.
I'm from Chicago, damn it.
Chicago.
That's not a thing.
That's not a
I'm
place.
sorry.
Well, this restaurant opened in 1944 and is a family-run business to this day. So
So
it's kind of like,
use a paper and pencil.
well, it's not even just that. Think about this. This is a World War II era pizza place, man. If they can't get business and they lose their business and they close because people are haranguing them about Five Nights at Freddy's.
Wait.
Yeah.
So here's the solution. Other than Charlie's technical solution, which would make sense, what you should be doing is, if they ask that, or even do this, put a Five Nights pizza on your menu.
I mean, yes, you have to be.
You could do that.
Okay, taking you seriously for a second, which I'm sure you didn't actually anticipate.
No, I'm dead serious. The not serious part of it is when you ask if it's Five Nights at Freddy's, you automatically order that pizza and they send it to you and charge you.
Okay, that's an option, I suppose. I'm now trying to put myself in the mindset of I'm assuming there's a guy named Freddy who has been, or maybe it was the guy's grandfather, considering how long this place has been in business. And I've got a
third
pizza
generation.
Yeah, I've got a pizza place that has existed for decades. And all of a sudden, this video game comes out. I was here first by a country mile, and now this video game comes out, and because of its popularity, my phone lines are swamped because of people. So I'm trying to imagine if I were to, I don't think they would actually be able to have a pizza name like that, because then that might imply some relationship, even though they were there first. Because they were there first, obviously they're not going to change their name or anything like that. Like Five Nights at Freddy's can't come after them, obviously, but I don't think they would be able to have a pizza named like that, because then I think that implies too much of a connection. And then
then go the other way and just sue the gaming company for not asking to use your company name.
If anything, you gotta imagine they probably want to distance themselves from this as much as possible.
They probably have no idea what's going on. All of a sudden, one day the phone line just blew up, and they're like, I don't know why.
You know what happened? Somebody posted it on Reddit. It got to the front page. And that's
Oh,
why this
you
is happening.
know that's what it was. Either Reddit or fucking 4chan. One of those two.
Yeah.
This they've had the same phone number for so long though that they're afraid to change it because they're afraid to lose business. People think they're out of business.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, they can't change their number. They can't change the name for the same reason. I think they're just gonna have to ride this one out.
So
everybody, just order
ahead,
a pizza from them. Just do this, all right? Like, have your fun, but buy a pizza at the end of your fun. Help them out.
That's true. If you want an idea of how many calls they were getting, one of the waitresses that's worked there for 34 years said she's never seen anything like this, and that they get up to 200 calls in an hour.
Wow.
200 calls in an hour.
Insane.
She said it's really annoying. You're trying to do your job and you keep picking up the phone. Freddie's added the new telephone lines as we were talking about. But what they do is they kind of try to check the caller ID to see whether or not it's somebody that calls constantly, if they can catch them doing it.
Wait, so this is not just people asking out of genuine curiosity. There are people like pranking them now.
Oh yeah, of course, dude.
Man,
if this shit started on Reddit and 4chan, you know that's the sole purpose for this shit.
That's why people with calling programs in a robotic voice just to do this.
See, I didn't get that at first. I thought it was like people like genuinely curious.
No,
I didn't realize
I'm sure some of the people are.
No,
but
yeah. But
I think a lot of it is just the internet being the internet.
Yeah,
this is the modern day equivalent to everybody calling and asking for Jenny in the 80s.
Yeah. It's true. Five Nights at Freddy's creator Scott Cawthorn did reach out to the Asbury Park Press with a quote saying, "Please do not call any phone numbers that you think may be associated with the game. There are no phone numbers associated with the game or marketing. All locations are fictional."
Yeah.
I really want pizza now. Fuck.
Yeah, so do I.
Pizza for 10 minutes and now I'm hungry. Shit. Moving on to number 4, though. I'm going to cleanse my palate of pizza and replace it with some acceptable failure. Maybe. We'll see. Ubisoft thinks that the Assassin's Creed movie won't make any money, and they're okay with that.
Oh, John, you're doing an awesome job with stories this week.
Hey man, I tried to keep it light and airy this week. Ubisoft said upcoming Assassin's Creed movie won't make a lot of money, but its aim is not for the film to be lucrative. Ubisoft's European boss Alain Correa said the movie's intended purpose is instead to raise awareness of the franchise. Quoted as saying, "We are not going to earn a lot of money from it. It's a lot more of a marketing thing. It's also good for the image of the brand. Although we will make some money, it's not the purpose of the movie. The purpose is to bring Assassin's Creed to more people. We have our core fans, but what we would like is to put this franchise in front of a lot more people who maybe will then pick up future Assassin's Creed games."
So, let me get this straight, John.
Mm-hmm.
Ubisoft has just come out to the press and said, "We've built the largest commercial in history, and we're putting it in theaters for you to pay for and watch to go buy our game."
Let me tell you what this sounds like to me. This sounds like somebody up at Ubisoft was shown a cut of this movie, and they went, "My God, we have to figure out how to explain this. Tell them it's okay, it won't make any money. If we say it's okay and it doesn't make any money, then we didn't fail. Then we were graceful."
Oh, God.
Oh, so it's the corporate equivalent to, oh, hell no.
Is this spin? Is this spin coverage? Is that what this is, you guys? Or do you think they're genuinely just trying to make a multi-million-dollar commercial for their games?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think you might be onto something where somebody's seen the trailer and went, "Oh fuck no, we got to make this look good." And then they were like, and then some marketing guy was like, "Well, what if we use it as PR for the game?" And he's like, "Yeah, make it happen."
Yeah. I think that the trailer looks acceptable to me. I just don't understand why they changed so much about if they're using like 70% of the framework for it. Why not just go the full mile and do it the right way? You know, Desmond, Miles, Altair. I mean, I know why I at least suspect I understand why they're probably not going that route. But it's it's what they should have done, was gone just straight for it. I think Assassin's Creed fans will be more appreciative of it if they would be rather. So
Yeah, I think they wanted a general audience to see that the Assassin's Creed thing and have parents be like, oh, it's okay for my kid to play that game, I'll buy it. So they went the general route for a general audience, but I think they've alienated their actual audience of the fans of the franchise too far now.
yes, I think maybe so. We'll see coming up because the movie comes out on the 21st of December, a week after Rogue One, Star Wars, a Star Wars story.
Well, at least they put it on the same week.
It's not a good idea for them to put that out a week after a Star Wars movie because barring it just being a terrible movie, people are going to pay their extra money to go see Star Wars again.
Well, I mean, yeah, you figure
Bad timing, Ubisoft.
Yeah.
I mean,
terrible idea.
The week after Star Wars, I mean, John's only seen Rogue One maybe 36 times by then. He's got at least another 15 in him.
At least another 15. Go. At least. You're being modest.
I know. I'm trying to make you look a little bit more like you have a life.
I don't. Oh.
At this point, Lucas' first words are the first 2 acts of Rogue One.
What I don't tell anybody is my son's first words were "you poor bastard." No. Moving on to number 3 for the week. You guys are not gonna believe this shit. You can't make this up. Richard Garriott is selling vials of his blood on eBay.
I can believe that.
Is that legal?
I am dubious about whether or not that is legal.
I don't think so. I think that's biohazard. I think that's against their
That's
bylaws.
what I'm saying. I don't.
So, okay.
That's probably going to get shot down. But go ahead.
Well, he got shut up, but yeah.
Yeah, because I certainly don't think you can mail blood.
No, I would imagine
No,
not.
that's biohazard.
Yeah. All right.
So
All right, go on. Sorry.
Hey, well, maybe it's pickup only.
maybe. God, I mean, really, it's either that or you just stick it in like a little, stick it in a paper envelope and mail it to them. Like the little foam bubbly ones, the orange ones, and not tell them what's in it. I guess.
Yeah,
So,
you can do that too.
article says you can now buy the blood of Ultima creator Richard Lord British Garriott on eBay. Garriott is selling his bodily fluid by the vial for $5,000, which averages out to about 3.8 thousand euros. Are they even? They're still using euros? I don't know if that's changed over yet. You'll get the blood in a reliquary and also receive loads of in-game items for Garriott's current project, Shroud of the Avatar.
What items would be worth $5,000?
Getting kind of crazy, man. Like, what else do you... This is a sign of the times is what this is. Like, what the fuck else do you have to do to sell your game anymore? You know what I mean? Like, what else is it going to take to move a copy of a game, digital or otherwise, other than literally bloodletting at this point?
I know the answer to this, John. I know what it is.
Go ahead.
Oh, you want the answer? I decided to do it. The answer to this is ship an actual good game that's complete and isn't a pile of shit like we are used to today.
Oh, that's just crazy talk.
Exactly. That's why we're buying vials of blood for DLC.
All right, that's fair.
Future is looking grim, folks. Really quick here, we have a question from listener Dustin Falconer asking, do you have to start at 1 for Assassin's Creed to understand all of them? You know, the first 3 games, really the first 4 games if you count, so it's like Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed,
Kart Racer.
No, you're fucking me up. Might as well. You don't give Ubisoft any ideas, man. What was the one where they're in Rome? Brotherhood, and then Liberation. Revelations. That's it. Liberation. Brain's not working. Revelations.
How do I know this and you don't?
Because I'm tired. You're tired. Those 4 games you kind of have to play from the first one to really understand, but they try to do this thing starting with Black Flag, ironically, where you kind of don't need to know all of that. I mean, I guess technically you could do it with Assassin's Creed 3, but that Assassin's Creed 3 kind of ties off the original games. And then after that, Assassin's Creed 4 goes into this completely different territory, and you don't really know you have to know what else to play beyond then. So
just read the wiki and jump in where you want.
plus, honestly, there is a YouTube channel where there is I don't remember what the name of the channel is called. I'll see if I can find it here. This person takes and rips video game cutscenes from various games and edits them into a movie for people who want to experience a game they've played, but don't want to have to play through the whole game again in order to drink the story back in. So I have actually used this channel a few times to go back and go, you know what, I would really like to appreciate this game and its story again, but I don't have time to play 16 hours. But they edited the story content into a 2.5-hour thing, so we'll do that. I'm trying to remember what the hell the name of that channel is. If I remember what it is, I will tell you, or I will find it for you. Oh, they're called Soviet Player. You can find them on YouTube. It's just Soviet Player, one word. And if you look for that channel, you can find all kinds of movies edited into short films, or games edited into short films, rather. Having said that, this is creepy and weird, and I'm going to open it up the auction right now and see. Oh, here you go. I'm going to screen share with you. This is where we're at now. Womp womp. Item listing has been removed, or this item is not available. Chances are it probably got flagged for being biohazardous. So I think we were all in understanding that was the case. It was probably not at all a spoiler.
No, I'm pretty sure that they are not allowed to ship biohazard anywhere, especially for digital content.
You can actually watch a live stream, Hangouts video of them collecting the blood from him. So it says it contains the blood of Lord British, which was collected and recorded in the video that's attached to the original article. There are only 6 of these rare jewels, so do not hesitate to make this your own. With your purchase of Gamerhead blood, you also get to visit the developer studio in Austin, Texas, where they will presumably drain you of all your blood and throw you into the basement. Yeah.
Dude was looking for a quick 30 grand. What a dick.
Yeah, it's pretty gross, man. To be clear, they do state that Gamerhead's blood was taken by a trained nurse.
I don't care. Let's move on from fucking weirdos.
Yeah. So, moving on to number 2 for the week. This is the one horrifying spot in the news this week. Pokemon Go player finds body while searching for Pokemon. I'll let that linger for a moment.
How many Pokeballs did it take to catch?
Yeah. Ugh. Ugh. You always say the wrong things, Goat. It's horrifying.
Well, I mean, it couldn't be that hard. It's not moving around.
19-year-old Shayla Wiggins of Riverton, Wyoming, says she found a dead body of an unidentified man while searching for Pokemon, according to a report originally published through County 10. Wiggins says she found the body in the Big Wind River. Says that she was trying to get a Pokemon from a natural water resource and discovered the body. I'm trying not to laugh at this because it's really not funny, but it just we're gonna start seeing a lot of weird shit found or happen because of Pokemon Go coming up. I'm telling you. Fremont County Sheriff's Office said in a press release that the man's death appeared to be accidental and possibly the result of drowning. There's no evidence at this time that indicates foul play. What the fuck, man? That's horrifying.
Not really.
What?
Especially considering how I mean, it just the craziest thing about this to me is that the body had been there for such a short amount of time.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it's like
purely coincidental.
I mean,
people are already finding tons of things because of Pokemon Go.
How do we know that he didn't steal her Pokemon?
That's true. Maybe she drowned his ass.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't that big of a deal. The joggers find bodies and parts all the time. If you want to, it's amazing. If you want to find dead people or anything, you leave your house.
They both arrived at the same point at the same time, trying to get the same Pikachu, and there could, in typical Highlander fashion, could only be one. That's it.
So, I mean, what was this girl's name?
I don't recall. Something Friedman, I think.
They might not have said her name. She might be underage.
No, they didn't. Oh,
Okay.
well, yeah, maybe they used the name, but I don't know whether or not it's actually her. But
Or maybe
um,
she's on Team Rocket. Maybe her name's Jessie.
maybe maybe it is
Oh dear.
disturbing.
But
Well, unfortunately for that poor fellow,
he
I'm just
did
really
not
glad it
catch them
wasn't
all.
like a kid, like a 10 or a 12-year-old that found it. You know what I mean? That would have been disturbing.
Yeah,
Meh.
for sure.
Quite disturbing. From horrifying Pokemon Go news to acceptable Pokemon Go news, Pokemon Go is going to overtake Twitter in daily active users. That's a lot
That's
of
Wait, did you say Twitter?
Twitter in daily active
Oh,
users.
holy fuck.
I just
That's a lot of
did you
people.
see Charlie's mind just snap right in half right there?
I
that's
thought you.
okay.
Yeah, that's a lot of
Yeah.
people.
I think that says more about Twitter than it says about Pokemon Go, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, is Pokemon Go? I mean, Twitter's a worldwide platform. Is Pokemon Go is only in the U.S. for right now,
United
isn't it? Or is
States,
it on
Worldwide.
our own?
Australia, and New Zealand currently.
Yeah.
So that's China. China's contribution to Twitter, just in and of itself, is not enough to. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's what I was going to segue into at the end of this article, and we'll talk about that in a second. But digital market intelligence firm SimilarWeb has shared that the augmented reality app has already outpaced dating app Tinder in the United States and will soon overtake Twitter in daily active users. Pokemon Go was already installed on 5.16% of all Android devices in the country, that being the U.S. when they say the country, by Friday, 8th of July. So think about that. In like less than 3 days, 5.16% of all Android phones in less than 3 days. A larger base than Tinder has achieved in its entire lifetime. As for app engagement, more than 60% of users that have downloaded the app in the United States are using it daily. That has seen it rival Twitter, and SimilarWeb predicts that Pokemon Go will have more daily active users than the social network in a matter of days. The app is being used for an average of 43 minutes, 23 seconds per day, a greater length of time than WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, or Messenger. Given such demand, it doesn't come as a surprise that the app has suffered repeated server issues and that release in other countries is paused until those issues are resolved. That's the part I was going to get to. So, first of all, let's take a second to appreciate the insane number of people currently operating Twitter on a daily basis and put that against an app that's been out for 4 days.
That's yeah. I mean, like, I guess I'm not really surprised. I mean, like, so I mean, just a couple anecdotes to sort of just speak to this is that so I mentioned BronyCon before. One of my friends who's on staff at BronyCon posted that they had to amend their staff agreement and rules for BronyCon to basically say, like, I know we're all excited about Pokemon Go, but please don't play it while you're on staff. We need to take care of the con first.
Yeah, that's been a big thing. As a matter of fact, one of the things that's been interesting about this game, and I'm sure has probably only just propelled the growth of it, is a lot of places, like in the first 12 hours of the game's release, there were so many memes and photos and discussions and everything taking place about this game that I even made a joke about it on my personal Facebook page saying that when a game has this many memes and there's this many people talking about it this quickly, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. The only two things you saw in Facebook or Twitter, the feeds anywhere, it was like scrolling down a wall of the Dallas police shootings and Pokemon Go. Those were the only two things you could see trending anywhere on anything. It was insane. And that's one of the big jokes with it is that it got blitzed so hard. I don't even think Niantic was prepared for what happened because it's been tons of server outages and disconnections, and that doesn't even get into discussing the actual game itself, which, to be fair, is barely a game. It's barely a game, but it's making a lot of people very happy. On a technical level, it's really buggy. It's really buggy. I have it crash or lock up constantly when I'm trying to capture a Pokemon or whatever. But it's kind of broken actually, and I'm sure it'll be fine when they fix it. And there's not really much to do except for just capture Pokemon and then capture more of the same Pokemon in order to evolve them and make them stronger so you can place them at gyms and to have other people fight them. And it's that kind of Ingress element. Ingress is a better game right now. It's a more complete game right now.
Well, it's a
But,
lot more mature too. But yeah.
but it's not even the maturity level because I'm fine with what Pokemon Go is. It's just broken and buggy right now, and it's
But
got
how well did Ingress launch?
it's pretty cleanly, pretty fine.
But
You
they
know?
also had
Relatively speaking, yeah. I mean, like
Yeah.
it was the same kind of thing. It was a much simpler game when it originally came out, but you know,
and it was invitation only.
um probably. I don't remember that for sure, but probably. No, yes, yes it was. Yes it was. Yes it was. Yes.
Because I know it was because I had to ask you for an invitation.
Right, yes. That's what made me remember that. Yes, it was. Yeah, and you know, just quick other side note. It's interesting to see some of the people that are still playing Ingress, or at least or at least have been very you know, very active Ingress players. Well, I don't know for a fact that these people are still playing, but I've seen comments from people along the lines of basically like, "Hey, Pokemon Go players, we sort of set all this up for you. Please don't ruin it."
Yeah,
You
it's kind of true
oh, yeah.
because all the portals are based on information they got from kind of like we talked about last week. We thought maybe that's what it was. It's been confirmed. Niantic said that not every single thing that's been tagged or is currently usable or the idea is they want you to walk slightly farther distances in Pokemon Go to get Pokemon because that's the one element is when you're playing Ingress, you just need to go to that portal and do what you're going to do there, and then go to the next portal and do what you're going to do there. This one is more about the journey between points that are interactive because you catch Pokemon on the way. So I do like that feature of it. It's fun, but it's
Well,
a
that
really
and the steps help you hatch eggs.
yeah. I know. I've got a couple of them cooking. I've already hatched one. Go.
Sorry.
What do you think of Pokemon Go?
It's fine. It's just like Ingress. It's to get you off your ass and go out and do something.
Are you enjoying it?
Yeah, I actually do kind of enjoy it. It's pretty. I mean, obviously it's brand new, and I know it's like, you know, we'll say the unfinished product and all that, but for what it is and what it's supposed to do, it does it just fine.
What level is your trainer?
Let me check my records here. I was not playing while we were talking.
Check my records. He's got to
see.
page his secretary. That's what level am I?
Hold on.
My
Speaking of
trainer is literally one interaction away from being level 8.
Oh wow, you're ahead of me. I think I'm a level 7.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
John,
a little.
you've leveled up more than Goat? How is that possible?
I was at work
Because
all weekend and someone
That's
left.
it. I could not be at the convention for any other part of it except for just Friday. So it I had some time on my hands while I was not there.
Wow. All right.
And I currently, for listeners at home, there's always a butt of a joke about my car being a piece of shit. I don't have one anymore because it finally conked out on me permanently. So I've been doing a lot of walking until we get a replacement.
I'm 5345 with 7,000 XP through level 7, so I'm not far
There you go.
behind you.
Yeah. Right on.
So, what team did you pick?
Team Valor, bitch.
That's right. Good boy.
Now, okay, so I have a question. Now with Ingress, there are stories and like there's a reason why you might pick one team or the other. Are there stories or incentives or reasons to pick one of these three teams, or is it just a name?
No, there's a little backstory to him.
Okay, all right, just wondering.
They give you the rundown on what each of them mean, but if you are not a Pokemon fan or don't watch Pokemon or do not already know who these teams are, then
so these are not new these are not new for Go. They're established in the Pokemon world already.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah. So it's kind of like if you don't know what these things are, they give you just enough to tell you what they are, but they don't really go into detail about it. There's not like an overarching like storyline like there is in Ingress. So
Got it.
yeah, just so you know. But yeah, it's fun. I'll tinker with it and keep jamming it for a little while. If anything, it's a distraction when I have to walk long distances for a period. So yeah, but it is broken as fuck.
All
But that's it. That's news for the week, man.
Okay. So real quick, I believe I have gotten this queued up correctly here. So I'm going to attempt to pipe into both the to the stream here my interview that I did with Jared from Pachinko Fever at Apocalypse Anime Midwest. I've called that con 3 different things now.
Yes, you have.
So let's see if this works. Pardon the potential trial and error, but I think I've got it. Let's see.
He's actually doing quite well there.
Interesting. So we try and get a little bit closer. And so the general, hopefully you guys can hear us over the sound of the machines. But so, yeah. So the general mechanics. So how does one play pachinko? How does it work?
Well, the general idea is, if you can see, I don't know, they've got the throttle right down there on the right-hand side, and that's going to control how hard the balls get fired into the machine, and that's the only part of control that you've got. The farther you turn it, the harder it shoots into the machine, so that's how you control your aim across the top of it.
Okay.
But past that, it's all luck. Once it filters down through the pins, all the pockets that you're going for are at the bottom.
Okay.
So it's your job to just kind of find a sweet spot and fire there over and over and over again.
Cool. All right. And so, how many? I don't know. This seems like a number you might know. How many different models of pachinko machine are there out there?
Well, there's about 30 big manufacturers in Japan. I have 4 represented here.
Okay.
There's about 30 manufacturers, and they come out with anywhere from 10 to 12 a year. And the machines will spend about a year to 18 months in a parlor in Japan, and then they retire them. And that's when they go onto the secondary market, which is where I pick them up.
Wow.
So these are all used.
So a lot.
A lot. A lot, yes. There
Got it,
are about 12,000 pachinko parlors in Japan, actually, at last count.
Out of all the machines you have here, which one's your favorite? Sorry to make you pick.
It depends. I've got several favorites.
Okay.
The bebop machine is probably my new favorite.
Which one's that?
Come down
Here. Let's swing this around here.
Yeah, the bebop. Here.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cowboy Bebop. I've got a couple of animated ones.
Swing around here so we can see it.
Absolutely fantastic. It has that old school pinball feel to it, which I really, really like.
That's really cool.
It does a lot of really cool stuff when you get it going good. And I bought that one most recently. That's actually my first experience importing it directly from Japan as well. That one came straight out of the parlor about 2 or 3 months ago.
So I noticed on like a lot of like the older machines is that it's actually like a plinko kind of a thing where they're falling through the pins.
Yep.
How do the video ones work where it's just a video screen in the middle?
Well, it works the same way. It's just you've got fewer pins for them to go through. These are actually both played down the left-hand side.
Oh, it goes around. I see. Okay, got it.
It just comes down a narrower corridor.
Okay, cool. Interesting. And then like, are there game mechanics on the screen itself?
Oh, lots.
Okay.
This one's got a spinner that comes up here and does cool stuff. This will drop down sometimes. It's full of surprises.
Wow, that's really cool. All right.
A lot of cool stuff in this too.
These are really neat.
They get more and more complicated per year.
Sounds exactly like the pinball industry. So yeah.
Pretty much.
So you guys, your company itself, you guys pretty much are just doing this at anime conventions now. Do you have a home base where
we are based out of Kansas City.
Okay.
And it's we started doing about a year and a half ago, give or take. And it's generally mostly anime cons, although I think we've done a couple of gaming cons as well.
Sure.
And they love it. I mean, it's a great little bit of Japanese culture that you just don't see at cons.
No, absolutely.
And so nobody was really filling that niche. And I said, hey, at the time I only owned like 8. But I said that's enough to be able to get started, and that was about a year and a half, and I'm up to 35 now, I think.
Nice.
Of which I bring around any given 12 that are working any given weekend.
I have to ask, are you at all familiar with Galloping Ghost Arcade over in Brookfield? It's the largest American-based arcade in. Actually, I think it might be the largest arcade in the world at this point. Actually, it's right over close here in Brookfield. I was just wondering if you had interactions with them. I'd love to see some pachinko machines out there because they have like pretty much everything else. But
cool.
But yeah, no,
I should go talk to them.
Yeah, you should. The guy that owns the dock, really cool guy. He loves talking arcades, absolutely. Cool. So what are some events you guys have coming up in case people are interested?
Well, this is actually our last event on the schedule for a little while. Our next planned con that we have for final is Tsubasa Con in West Virginia.
Okay.
Followed by YumaCon up in Detroit.
Okay. Cool.
So that's the end of September and the end of October, respectively. So
okay. All right.
Hopefully we can continue trying to bring us back out for Con Alt Delete in December. Sure. We're still talking to them.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So if you want to know more about this and find out about your upcoming events, where should they go?
Sure thing. Pachinkofever.org. PACHINKO. And that's got, or will actually have a calendar for all of our events for at least 6 months or so. And then we also have a Facebook page that they can go to. which is just / pachinko fever, all smushed together like
Okay.
you do for the internet.
Awesome. And we'll post a link up to them also on social media afterwards. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much. Once again, this is Charlie from Gamerhead Radio talking to Jared from Pachinko Fever. Appreciate your time. Thanks very much.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys, for watching. Yay, I love it when things work correctly.
Yay!
I think the audio
show
might have been
within
a
a
little
show.
cut there at the beginning, but I brought it down. So yeah. Jared, really cool guy. Unfortunately, like I say, the first couple minutes of that were soundless, but that's all the audio that we got there. Basically, it was just him talking a little bit about how the company got started and everything. I'm sure you can find that all on their website and their Facebook page. But yeah, cool guy. Check him out. And if you haven't played pachinko before, it's dangerously addicting. But yeah, no. So yeah, thanks again to Jared from Pachinko Fever. There's his card right there at facebook.com/Pachinko Fever and at pachinkofever.org. So yeah, thanks to Jared.
Yay.
So really quick before I know we just got done kind of closing out Pokemon Go. Charlie, to be clear, because I talked with you about this the other night, you have no interest in participating in this, even though you like Ingress.
I can't. I had all the interest in the world in playing Ingress, but I didn't very much. For no good reason really. I mean, it's something that I should like. It's something that I know I would like if I were to play it.